Welcome to the Waterboy and Equipment Manager podcast. My name is Saif Basaria.
My name is Shaban Samani.
I'm Case Trania.
And with us is a friend who you've heard before, and you're back. Introduce yourself.
What's up, everybody? My name is Asad Lalani.
Yeah, well, Asad's back because, Nabil's not. So fuck him. No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke. No, Nabil just had some work that he had to get done and family things he had to attend to. Asad's here in his place because we're here to talk about how much of a degenerate we all are. This is the Over-Unders podcast. But we'll get to that after we talk about a couple of things. So the first things first, we're not going to do if you don't know now you know, because there's really only two things we're going to discuss really quickly, and then we're going to jump to the Over-Unders because that's going to be the big, the meat and cheese of why you're here today. So the first thing is today's December 1st. Most, if not all, NBA teams are either back in their reported cities or will be back by tomorrow. And then practices will start this weekend. And then preseason starts like December 11, 12-ish, 13-ish. So we're getting close. We're getting close to basketball being back, even though it just ended for a couple of teams. And I think, a lot of teams are very excited, especially the ones that haven't played since March. But today, some fellas from Adrian Wojnarowski and friends gave us the Christmas schedule. We haven't seen a full NBA schedule yet, and hopefully we will soon. But we've got the Christmas schedule, and I wanted to ask you boys your thoughts on the Christmas Day games. So the very first game, which is usually the one that most of us either sleep through or just barely awake on, it's noon Eastern time, Pelicans and Heat. What do you guys think? Asad, what are your thoughts on this specific game, Pelicans and Heat?
I think it'll be a pretty interesting game. Obviously, we'll get to see the Heat after their championship run. And their run to the playoffs.
Second place.
Of course, to your Lakers. Can't forget that. I think it'll be fun to see kind of how the Heat come back from that, and kind of the new changes they do to their kind of their game plans after the finals. And I think it'll be exciting to see Brandon Ingram, Lonzo, Zion, and the crew.
Hopefully a healthy Zion. That's the big point, right?
Yeah. So hopefully we can see a full, healthy Pelicans team with their new additions, and hopefully it'll be a good game.
All right, Shaban, 2:30 Eastern time. We got the king of put it in from deep against the team that allows everybody to put it in from deep, Warriors and Bucks. What do you think, buddy?
Dude, I don't even know about this. This is such a weird matchup. Like, Christmas Day games are always about narratives and like pitting like rival teams against each other. I don't understand this matchup. It's kind of weird. Also, the Warriors don't have Klay Thompson again
Steph
this
Curry,
year.
Baby.
I mean, they
fun
have Steph
fact,
Curry.
the Warriors tried trading for Harden on draft night.
That would have been cool, though, wouldn't it?
That would have been fun. That would have been fun.
It would have been fun to watch.
Steph Curry is one of the best off-ball movers in the NBA as one of the best shooters of all time, with Harden kind of controlling the rock and then let Steph Curry do it. It'd been fun. But anyway, the Warriors-Bucks, I agree it's kind of a weird matchup, but Christmas Day is all about the star power and giving you the commercials saying, hey, come watch Steph Curry and Giannis, and there are very few stars bigger than those two guys in the league. However, the 5 p.m. game, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving led Nets, hopefully still intact Nets by then. They might have combusted by Christmas Day, which is only 3 days after the season starts. And the Boston Celtics. Case, what do you think? You love chaos. You love the Nets.
That's not true. I love chaos. That part is true.
You love Steve Nash? You love the Nets?
I love Steve Nash, but
It's his team, baby.
I know it's his team, but it's also got Kyrie Irving.
So does your love for Steve Nash higher than your dislike for Kyrie?
I'm debating that internally right now.
Wow, that's a tough debate. Well, what do you think?
All I'm saying is thank you to the NBA for making it the Nets, not the Knicks, play this year.
Yes.
That's a good point. I didn't even realize the Knicks weren't playing because they're that irrelevant. Do you think this will be a good game, though? Nets Celtics, 5 p.m.? Do you think this will be a good game?
Should be a great game.
Yeah. This is 5 p.m., so it's belly rubbing hour.
It might be.
Yeah, right after you eat, this is belly rubbing hour. And then prime time, Mavericks, Lakers, 8 p.m. Eastern.
LeBron versus Luka.
Yeah, well, apparently that's a thing now. They're trying to make it a thing. I think it's
well, actually, it's hard to say if LeBron will even play.
Well, yeah, LeBron might not play. It might just be like AD potentially. I don't know. He hasn't signed a contract yet. I'm being sarcastic. I'm not concerned. He will sign a contract. I'm doing what AD did when he was interviewed by Chris Haynes, and he was like, "I'm a free agent. Yeah, we know, buddy. We're signing a fucking contract. You're just trying to figure out how long."
We're still waiting.
He'll get it done. He's just trying to skip the preseason is I think what he's trying to do here. But anyway, Mavs Lakers, it will be fun. Luka will put on a show. AD might have 50. I don't know. Without KP, probably. Willie Cauley-Stein guarding Luka. Good luck. Maxi Kleba, even gooder luck. 10:30 p.m. The nightcap. Clippers and Nuggets.
Now that's a matchup.
Clippers Nuggets.
Excited for that one.
Well, tell me why you're excited. Asad, what's going on? What do you think about this one?
I mean, after the amazing 3-1 blown lead by the Clippers.
Wait, can you recap what you're talking about for those?
Wait,
that
what
don't
did you
know
just say?
What are you discussing? Sorry, recap, please.
So
Such
in
assholes.
this last playoffs, the Los Angeles Clippers were up 3-1 against the Denver Nuggets, only for them to lose 3 straight games, and as the Nuggets advanced to the Western Conference Finals.
Wait, are you talking about the proclaimed NBA champions, LA Clippers?
I don't know about NBA champions, but yes, those Clippers.
Self-proclaimed champion. Sorry, we should have been more clear.
Champions. My apologies for blowing up your ears to the listener and the boys of the podcast. I am now on Do Not Disturb. That's my bad. All right. So those are the 2 things I wanted to talk to you about, and I enjoyed them very much. Christmas Day is a tradition for many basketball fans to just shut up, eat good food, hang out with good company, hopefully family, and being safe because we're in a pandemic still, and then watch good basketball, and that's kind of what I'm hoping for, and I think you guys are too. So we're gonna take a moment to hear a word from our sponsors. Then we're coming back. NBA over unders. That's what we're doing this week. We're gonna be degenerates and go into our alleged gambling minds. I will not say alleged, and we'll do the over unders when we get back. Listeners,
Look, we just know basketball.
Convenient. Yeah,
That's all it is.
We host a semi-successful podcast, so I would hope so. In case. Listener, we'll see you on the other side of the ad. What's up, YouTube?
What up?
So Asad, since you're new here, this little bit I actually don't cut out when we put the YouTube video up. We just have a moment, talk to our YouTube audience, hang out with them. And Kays gets mad because he has to cut out of the audio.
I have to cut it in the fucking audio.
And he doesn't
I
like
can't
that
just
very
leave
much.
this here.
He doesn't
It just compounds my work. Set up the doc, fill shit out, time, actually have content, and then edit.
Now you're just making this harder on yourself. I'm ready to come back.
I know.
And we're back, boys. Like I said before the break, we're doing NBA over-unders, every single team. I'm going to hand this off to Shaban, but before I do, I just want to remind the listener at home, the NBA season this year is going to be 72 games, not the customary 82 games. So for that reason, we had to adjust our mindset, and I'm sure you will too. And it might say some repetitive, reminding from us to you and vice versa to remember 72, not 82. So maybe a 50-game season is not in order for every single team because that's probably a lot harder to do with 10 less games to play. All right, boy. Take over, Shaban. I'm backseating it now.
All right, let's do it. Okay, so we'll start off with the Eastern Conference. We'll go ahead and jump right into it. So the over-under for the Milwaukee Bucks.
No, just start at the bottom. It's more fun that way.
Okay.
Start at the bottom? We can start at the bottom.
Why not?
All right, sure. Yeah. All right, so let's start with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Emphasis on the L's.
Cleveland.
Their over-under for this season is set at 22.5 wins, which is roughly equivalent to like 17, which is roughly equivalent to like a 25 win season in a regular 82 games. So I think we're all in agreement here. Do we think they're going to go under?
Yeah, I think this is a no-brainer. This is under. They won 19 games out of 82 last year. Why the hell would they win more with 10 less games? They didn't get better as a basketball team. I'm going under.
Yeah, they lost Tristan Thompson too, so there's no brainer here.
Also, welcome to America, Tristan. He became a citizen today.
Hey,
Oh, wow, good for him.
Good for him.
USA.
So, well, I think the best way for us to do this is we'll all say over under, and then Shaban, you can ask one of us or two of us to elaborate the over under. Make sense? Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
So I said under. I think they all said under as well.
Yeah. So we can move on to the New York Knicks, which was once the mecca of basketball, and now is just the mecca of garbage. Now,
Ouch.
Now,
This is an insult to Mecca, not the Knicks.
I'm just
Sir, I
saying.
am a Muslim. You leave Mecca out of it. Damn it.
You're right. My bad. So the New York Knicks, they are set. Their over under is at 22.5 wins as well. What do you guys think? Safe. What do you think?
Oh, I'm sorry. I put under on the doc. I mean, over on the doc. I 100% meant under. This team won 21 games with 10 more games in the season, and they did not get significantly better unless Obi Toppin is Amari Stoudemire like they claim him to be off rip, which I wouldn't betting on it. No, they're going under. This team is terrible. The only way I see it going over is if Tom Thibodeau coaches the shit out of this team, like next level coach the shit out of him, or they trade for Russell Westbrook.
Tom Thibodeau owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome.
Exactly. My guy.
Okay, what do you think, man?
It's under. I'm not talking about the Knicks. I'm sorry.
Aiden's cardinal rule in 35 episodes: never once talk about the Knicks for more than you need to.
Oh no,
That's
I will
true.
talk bad about them, but it's bad for this episode. So.
Yeah. Asad, I'm assuming you're like you say the same.
Yeah, under for sure. I don't think that they no big acquisitions. Although I will shout out to the Houston boy Austin Rivers, but I don't think that any of the additions they made over the offseason is going to help them reach that 22.5 mark.
Yeah, if anything, it feels like they lost a few pieces here and there. But let's go ahead and move on to the Detroit Pistons.
Hold on, you're also going under here?
Actually, I'm gonna say over. I'm gonna say the Detroit Pistons slightly overperform. I think they get a little bit more than what's the equivalent of 25 wins. I think maybe they get like 28. I say over, but it's not by a lot. You know, I don't think they're gonna be playoff threats anytime soon. But you know, healthy Derrick Rose, healthy Blake Griffin should be kind of interesting. What do you guys think, Asad?
I went under here. I think 23.5. I don't think they'll be able to get that. I could see them cutting it close, assuming that Blake Griffin stays healthy. They can put a few wins together here and there. But even 23.5 is equivalent to, what are we looking at? Like that 28, 29 mark in an 82 game season. So yeah, just don't see it.
Yeah. What about you guys? Safe K's?
Under, bro. Under. They had the most confusing offseason of any team in the NBA. And by the way, they hopefully will still try to trade Derrick Rose, arguably their second best player. They're going under. There's too many good teams in the East. It's not them, it's everybody else is just much better.
Yeah. I'm inclined to agree, but like there are a lot better teams, a lot more interesting teams in the NBA. Speaking of interesting teams, the next one.
You just gonna skip me? Really, dog? We talked about this before we started.
You were gonna be the first person I ask on the next one.
No, we're not doing that. We're going under for the Pistons because they got Jahlil Okafor.
Damn,
don't do my boy Ja
problem
like
with
that.
Jahlil for no reason.
He was the number 2 pick, and he hasn't played more than 10 minutes a game his entire
don't
career.
Do that. Jahlil was number 4. Leave him alone. D'Angelo was number 2.
Close enough.
No, not close enough. Number 4.
Close enough.
Anyway, let's move on.
Look, they're right next to each other. 2, 4. They're really close.
Well done for the YouTube audience. I'm sure they'll enjoy that one. Charlotte, let's move on, Shaban. Come on. Take me out of this real talk.
The Charlotte Hornets, their over-under is set at 25.5 wins. Kays, what do you think?
Charlotte, I'm going over.
Yeah.
LaMelo Ball is going to bring the city up.
Oh my God, this podcast was featuring LeVar Ball as a guest? What?
Hell yeah.
Dude, explain yourself. I don't fucking understand. How are they going? How are they going to win 25 games? That's what, 30 games in a regular season? How the fuck they win in 30?
Yes, sir.
How?
I don't know. I like it. It's
Why?
interesting to me.
Why?
I think LaMelo Ball is going to bring out this competitiveness in Terry Rozier that he only had when he played behind Marcus Smart. And we're going to see Scary Terry again, and they're going to start winning games. Plus, Devontae Graham, second year, only going to get better.
Yeah.
30 games.
Speaking of players that they have that could help them out, one of which is Gordon Hayward, who
Overpaid. Next.
yes, overpaid, but still a great player in my book. Safe, what do you think?
Under. I think that they will probably not win more than like 18 games. This line is off by
Wow.
this line is off by 7 or 8, and here's why. Ready? LaMelo Ball, cool. I actually like him as a talent. He might be a good basketball player, but as a rookie, point guards struggle more than basically any other position in the league as rookies, unless they're absolutely phenomenal, which LaMelo Ball likely might not be off rip. Cody Zeller is your starting fucking center, and Gordon Hayward, as much as I love him and I truly wish him well, will be hurt by the second week of January. Let's just be honest here. He's not playing 72 or even 65 games, and if he does, I, among everybody else, should be fucking shocked. So if you're missing out and Cody Zeller is your starting center, I don't feel good about your chances to win basketball games. And by the way, they might still ship off Terry Rozier, and Scary Terry might be playing for the Clippers next week. We don't even fucking know anymore. This team is trash.
Yeah. Also, what do you think, man?
I actually think I think they'll go over. I think it'll be close. I think I could totally see them getting, 27, 28 wins. Yeah, I think LaMelo will be, a great playmaker. He will, be able to bring out kind of the better in some of the other players. I think Devontae Graham, his improvement last year was awesome, and I think he's only going to get better. I could see Charlotte trying to, get better bigs, kind of down the line if they start to struggle. But I think LaMelo will play a role for sure.
Jeez, we're saying LaMelo is this good off rip that he's going to win this team 25 and a half games in a 72-game season?
Well, the combination
He'll
of
win at
Devontae.
least 15.
They won 23 games in an 82-game last season, and they got LaMelo Ball. Well, and Gordon Hayward for maybe half the season, potentially. I don't know. I could see it going either way. I don't think it's absolutely absurd, but
All right, there's no way you can backtrack and say you can see it going either way.
No.
When your ending statement was this line's at least 7 games too high.
That's what I'm saying. I think they won't win more than 17 to 18 games. I think this team is garbage. If Gordon Hayward finishes the season having played 70 games, I'll be wrong. But I don't think he's playing 70 games this year. I don't think any one of you guys would be willing to put money that he's going to play 70 games this year.
Well, anything's possible. But let's move on to so we got like quite a bit of a jump here in the over-under with the Chicago Bulls. The over-under is set at 29.5 wins. Now, going over here would be 30 wins, and that's about pretty close to 500. It's about like 6 games away from being 500. So, Safe, what do you think? Over or under?
I think this team will go over. I think Kobe White was really, really good in the latter bit of the NBA season last year. He'll hopefully start. They have a real NBA coach, not Garfunkel sitting in the corner just telling people to run fucking suicides all day. Hopefully they're healthier with Wendell Carter and Lauri Markkanen. Zach LaVine's a fucking bucket. Patrick Williams might be good at basketball. We like him on this podcast. We've talked about Patrick Williams in our pre-draft and our mock draft. I like this team. I think they're well coached. I like their direction. I think they're going over, not by a lot, but they'll go over.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. It's the coaching staff can go a long way. They won 22 games last season, and I fully expect them to make some kind of a jump with Billy Donovan there. Asad, what do you think, man?
I think they're going to go slightly under. I think 30 wins is a bit of a stretch for Chicago. I do agree. I think Zach LaVine's talented offensively. Kobe White played really well last year, but I don't know. Lauri Markkanen and Wendell have a lot of injury issues. Would love for them to be healthy, and I can see how them being healthy would, like Safe said, would kind of push them over the edge. But I'm not too confident in that quite yet. I think the loss of Chris Dunn definitely hurts them. I think Chris Dunn's a terrific defensive player, top player in the league in steals, and I think that hurts them. And I don't think they got anybody to really replace what Chris Dunn can do.
Yeah, they're really going to miss out on his 4 points a game. You're right.
The defense.
It's not always about points.
I know.
It's about defense.
I know. I'm just salty.
Yeah. Well, they did add Patrick Williams, but Kays, what do you think?
Kays, you're agreeing with me, right? They're going over here.
I'm on the fence, but I'm inclined to say over. It might be just at 30, but they could also just win 29 and call it a day.
So
This
so
is one
Case,
of those where
so
you
Case
They're
is
listening to
saying
this
you put it
podcast.
on your list, and then you start thinking about it when you're going to place an actual bet, and you're like, nah, I'm good, you know?
so Case is perfectly happy not playing this one. He said Vegas got it right. Vegas set the right number here for the Chicago Bulls
That I think that's the closest number we have.
thus far. Yeah. All right. Let's
All right, let's keep on let's keep it moving. Next up we got the Washington Wizards with hopefully a healthy John Wall. Their their over under is also set at 29.5 wins. I am going to say that they underperform, and I'm going to say that they go under here. You know, it's just too much uncertainty, with John Wall and his Achilles tear. John Wall is someone who, yeah,
It's
he does
been
have
2 years, bro.
it's been 2 years, but still, like, there are players that like come back from an Achilles injury and they just never look the same. There's only one player
No,
in
so
NBA
his
history.
Achilles tear was 2 years ago. He missed last year because he slipped and fell in the kitchen and broke something in his foot.
No, I think it was the other way around. He broke his
Yeah, that
foot
was the other
first,
way around.
and then he tore his Achilles, slipping and falling in the kitchen, quote unquote. For those of you listening to the podcast, he definitely tore the Achilles a little over a year ago now.
Yeah. So John Wall really relies on that explosiveness, and I'm a little pessimistic on that front. But yeah, Safe, what do you think?
I think they're going to go over here. I think this team, they're a good basketball team, even without John Wall. The additions they made in the offseason, I think, will only help them, not hurt them. And so I like this basketball team. And hopefully, if John Wall can be 70% of the guy we saw 2 years ago, then yeah, they're going to win 30 games because they're going to beat up on all these other shitty ass teams in the league. There aren't that many. I'm not saying there's that many, but I think they're a top half in the East team. 30 wins, I think, is very doable for them.
All right. Asa, what do you think?
Yeah, I think 30 is doable too. I mean, last year in a shortened season, it was what they were 25 and 47. So they won 25 games out of 72. And I think that getting 5 more wins with a healthy John Wall and what they've done this year in the offseason, I think is very, very doable.
Out of 82. Now it's 72, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't
Yeah.
it a shortened season last year?
Oh, you know what?
Yeah, it
we
was.
did miss games last year. You're absolutely right.
It was 70 games.
right over
yeah.
my head. You're absolutely right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that changes
So-
nothing for
So
me.
we've got a little bit of a sample. We've got a little bit of a sample size from last year, but granted that was with a huge, with a huge break, and then of course the bubble happening. So it's not going to be exactly the same 72. So it's kind of hard to compare apples to apples there. But
Yeah. So, Kays, what do you think, man? Before we
I got
move
him
on.
going over.
Yeah.
I like the moves they made in the offseason, plus Bradley Beal's showing out party last year. I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah. It should be interesting to see. I'm probably gonna bite my tongue on this one, like come middle of the season, but we'll see. But moving on, we got the Orlando Magic, and their over under is set at 32.5 wins. The Orlando Magic did slip into the playoff picture last season. But then by the end of the bubble and by the beginning of the playoffs, their schedule or their record and their winning percentage was worse than the 10 seed at the time. So that should tell you all you need to know about the Orlando Magic. Kays, what do you think?
Under.
Yeah.
This line is way too fucking high.
I agree. I'm thinking, like, what did they do in the offseason?
They lost Jonathan Isaac. They lost Jonathan Isaac for the year.
that's the big
That's
Yeah.
what they did.
Right.
That's the big.
Right. They lost DJ Augustine, who, believe it or not, is actually kind of big for them at point guard. Now they're running point guard with Markelle Fultz and rookie Cole Anthony, who, by the way, I like a lot. But they're both, one's rookie and the other guy can't shoot a jumper yet. So, yeah, this Magic team didn't get better. Under.
Yeah. I'm inclined to agree. Asa, what do you think?
Yeah, I think under for sure. I think the Jonathan Isaac injury is huge. Him being out for a year is going to be brutal for them. Isaac played 34 games last year, and I'm sure he was instrumental in a lot of their wins. And I just don't see them hitting that 32.5 mark this year.
Yeah. I also feel at this juncture, Aaron Gordon might be on his way out, but time will tell on that. Next up, we have our favorite team in the entire podcast. It's our Atlanta Hawks, baby. Now, the Atlanta Hawks, they made a lot of offseason moves, and now their over-under is set at 36.5 wins. 36 wins is right at 500 for a 72-game season. Asad, where do you stand?
I'm going over. I'm excited to see how these new additions, impact Trey, and how Trey's been pushing for more veteran leadership and to really be more competitive in the East. And I think with Gallinari, Rondo being able there to kind of play that player coach role, especially help Trey in his development. And I also think it takes a lot of the new additions help take the scoring load off Trey with Bogdanovich and Gallo. Easing that load, and hopefully will help Trey play some more defense.
Yeah, Safe. What do you think, man?
Come on, there are only two things in the state of Georgia that can stop this Atlanta Hawks team from going over 36.5 wins. One is Brian Kemp, and two is Magic City. If those two things can stay the hell out of the way, this Hawks team is absolutely going over 36.5. Brian Kemp won't shut the damn state down, so COVID might fuck shit up. And Magic City, well, ask Lou Williams all about what Magic City did to him. Those wings fucked him up for 3 goddamn months. And by the way, the Clippers blew a 3-1 lead against the Nuggets. I'm just saying, the Hawks will win over 36.5 games. I think it's one of the locks of the year for me. I will allegedly be putting actual capital on this one. They're going over 36.5. I said only two things can stop them. Otherwise, over.
Well, there's a third thing.
What's the third thing?
They're in the state of Georgia.
So
yeah,
our sports aren't exactly great.
So, Case, your mic is fucked up. So you fix that, and we're gonna come back to you.
How fucked up?
The listeners probably turned us off at this point. It's bad. It's bad. You sound like
it's
those
very fuzzy.
those mics, those little fake ass mics as a kid that you could just talk into and the echo would come. Right? That's basically what Case's mic sounds like right now. So we'll give you a sec. Let's move on to the Pacers, Sean.
Yeah. So, I'm inclined to agree over. I think the addition of Nate McMillan is going to help a lot on defense. The Pacers last year had one of the best defenses in the league. Yeah, you good, Case. So, yeah, I think we all agree on that we're going to go over on this one. Case, did you go already, or?
Who are we on?
Atlanta. You want to finish your point on Atlanta before we move on?
It's over.
Yeah.
Fuck the haters. We're going over 36, bro. We're going over 500, and we're going to shut everybody up.
Hell yeah.
I think if we're inclined to make a bet right now, Atlanta probably is the favorite to take the 8th seed in the East. Barring a play-in, that's different. But I think they'll lock in the 8th seed this year in the Eastern Conference. And if they don't, what the fuck were all these signings for?
Right. So let's move on to the next team up. And we got the Indiana Pacers. Speaking of Nate McMillan, their over-under is set at 39.5 wins. A 40 wins here would put them pretty close to what would be equal to like about a 50-win season. So what do you guys think on this one? Kays, we can start with you, buddy.
It's under. This is a real high total for a shortened season. And I'm just not that high on the Pacers, bro.
Yeah, I wasn't really high on the Pacers, like even before the bubble started, and look how they ended up. So I'm inclined to agree that they go under. Safe, what do you think?
The Pacers are one of those teams that they give me the regular season warrior kind of vibe. They're a team that is going to work really, really hard in the regular season, while other teams are maybe taking certain games and nights off. They've got a lot to prove and a lot of dudes who work really hard. Brogdon, hopefully a healthy 90% Oladipo. Obviously, Bubble TJ Warren is back in real life. Sabonis, hopefully healthy again. Miles Turner. Celtics didn't want him. He's got a chip on his shoulder now. So this team is a good team. This team is one, like I said, that rubs me as someone who's going to take serious charge of the regular season. I think they'll go over at 39.5. They're one of the few teams that should go over in the regular season. Playoffs, different story.
Yeah. Asad, what do you think?
I think the Pacers for me are what Case thought the Bulls were at. I think it's going to be right at the line. I could definitely see them getting to like right at that 38, 39. I could see them getting right 40, 41, with everybody staying healthy. So I think this one is going to go really, really down to the wire, but I think it's going to go slightly under.
Yeah. So I'm inclined to agree on going under. I think a big question mark for Indiana is the status of Victor Oladipo and whether or not he's on his way out the door, because there
Definitely.
have been a lot of rumblings on that. But let's move on to the number 2 seed of the Eastern Conference last season, the Toronto Raptors. Now, this is pretty surprising. It's a little low, but their over under is set at 41 and a half wins. So that's still also below the threshold of like a 50-win season. I'll just go ahead and say that I think they're going over. It's not like they got worse over this past off season. I didn't re-signing Fred VanVleet was pretty big for them, and I think barring Pascal Siakam's fallout in the playoffs, they could have really made some noise like in the conference finals. But Asad, what do you think?
Yeah, I think 41 and a half is low for Toronto. I mean, Toronto won 53 games last year in a slightly shortened season. They lose, two of their prime big men in Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka, bring in Aaron Baines and Alex Len. But I think we'll see a lot more playing time for Siakam at that 4 position, and also Chris Boucher, who I saw and I liked towards the end of the season there.
Yeah. Kays, what do you think?
I think it's over. They got a chip on their shoulders. They've got a great coach. They're going to ball out.
Yeah.
So this is another regular season Warrior team. They're going to take it really seriously. They're going to play their ass off. OG Anunoby's going to take another step. Norman Powell is really good at basketball. This team goes over. They're a regular season team. That's what they are. We've known this for 10 years.
That was easy. Let's move on to the Philadelphia 76ers, a team that's sort of gone through kind of a makeover. They lost Al Horford and they lost Josh Richardson. And their over-under is set at 44 and a half wins. Now, 44 and a half wins, that's right at what would be a 50-win season for the Philadelphia 76ers. Safe, we can start with you. What do you think?
I'm pulling an audible, boys. I'm changing my mind. I was going to go over. I'm going under, but just slightly. They're going to win 42, 43 games. Reason being, first off, I think they got better as a basketball team. Losing Josh Richardson does suck. I like him. He's a very good basketball player. But adding shooters was absolutely necessary for this team. They did that. They got a bunch of good players who can shoot the ball around Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. But you're asking me to trust the health of Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. And this is one of those I'll believe it when I see it kind of things. And that's where I stand. They'll go under just barely. Potential to absolutely go over if they stay healthy for 70-plus games. Sure.
Yeah. Also, what do you think?
I think they go slightly over. As a Rockets fan, sad to see Daryl go, but I think Daryl's incredible. He's a very talented GM, among the best in the league. And even if the Sixers get off to kind of a slow, sloppy start, I think Daryl is a wizard and will figure out a way to right the ship if anything does go wrong. But, with the entire team, with Ben and Joel staying healthy and adding Seth Curry, Danny Green, Terrence Ferguson, some more shooters around them, I think they've got the chance to hit that 44 and a half mark.
Quick question. What's Daryl going to do on a week-to-week basis?
Wait. Asad, not wizard. He works for the 76ers, bro. No, I'm just playing with you. Sorry.
Okay,
Sorry, what do you think?
Your question?
How is Daryl Morey going to affect like the day-to-day activities? He's not really the coach. He's the GM.
I mean, I don't necessarily mean kind of the day-to-day, but I think that, if the Sixers, if there's a flaw with the team, I think that he's very proactive and obviously has a good reputation around the league and is very good at figuring out ways to signing players and assisting the coaching staff on how to get the right pieces for them to succeed. So I'm a firm believer in there.
All right, Kays, where are you at? Where are your heads at?
It's under.
Yeah.
I don't trust the health of this team, and that's solely what it is.
That's where I'm at too. That's exactly.
Yeah. The health of the team is a big question mark, but I do say that they go over just because they were one of the best teams in basketball last season. It just happened to be whenever they were at home. And I think
Also,
adding
quick
Doc Rivers,
caveat. no fans at
Oh,
all.
that is true.
So there is no home games.
That is true, but I do think that the addition of Doc Rivers will instill like a lot more discipline from the top down. But we can go ahead and move on here. We can move on to the NBA finalists from the Eastern Conference last season,
Second
the
place.
Miami Heat.
Second place.
I said finalist, right?
I know. I'm just being ass. Let me do my thing. Yeah.
Their over under is same as Philadelphia's 44.5 wins. I think we all are thinking the same thing. Asad, where are your heads at?
Yeah, I think this one's an over. I think Miami really put it together at the end of the last season, and of course during their playoff run. And I think they've really got their identity down. And this team is just only going to get better. And so I'm excited to see what they can do. I can see them being a 2 seed very easily in the East.
Yeah, Bam Adebayo really showed out last season. I'm pretty sure he's going to get a lot better. Tyler Hero as well. Duncan Robinson. Kays, what do you think, man?
They're going over. It's a great team. I think they hit their stride in the bubble, and they're going to carry it over this year.
Yeah, say if you agree.
Second verse, same as the first. This is the best conditioned team in the NBA. If anybody's ready to play during COVID times, it is the Miami Heat basketball team. And by the way, if Giannis doesn't sign his Supermax extension by December 21st, guess who's going to try their best to look really, really nice and be the belle of the ball? The Miami Heat are going to do everything in their power to look like a good basketball team to try to convince him just that much more to come on over. They're going over. Easy money.
Totally agree.
Easy
Totally
money.
agree. So next up, we have the Brooklyn Nets. Now their win total, their over under is set at 45.5 wins. I say personally that they go over. I think that the Nets definitely improved this past off season. I think. I mean, just from having Kevin Durant healthy again. And just also they were the 7th seed last season, so it's not that far out off far from the realm to imagine that they're going to be a lot better this season with both the hopefully healthy Kyrie and a healthy Kevin Durant. But yeah, Kays, what do you think?
It's under.
Yeah,
First year head coach KD coming back off the Achilles. There's going to be a lot of load management there.
You really gonna do
They're
your
not
boy
gonna
Steve
be
Nash
bad.
like that?
He's still a first year head coach. I'm not biased. We're a semi-successful podcast. You have to put that to the
You're right.
side.
My bad.
That's all I'm saying. Like KD's gonna have some load management coming in. They're gonna load manage Kyrie because he's made of fucking glass. So they'll win 40-ish games, but they're not winning more than 45.
yeah. Safe. What do you think?
I'm literally in the exact same boat. This team will go under, not by much. They'll go under maybe 43, 44 wins, simply because of load management, not because they're not capable. They see themselves as a title contender. So do we. So does the media. So does Vegas. So they're going to play for the playoffs here. They don't care about home court advantage because there probably won't be fans anyway. What do they care? Rest, get healthy, get ready for the playoffs. That's Brooklyn. I don't see why they need to prove anything to us. Prove it in the playoffs. Nobody cares.
Yeah, Asad, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I agree with everything that they just said. And in the wise words of Kendrick Perkins, carry on.
Fuck you.
For those who don't listen, Safe hates it, like that Kendrick Perkins thing where he says "carry on" after
He
every
signs
tweet.
off every tweet with "carry on," and I just think it's a terrible tagline, and that he can do better. That's all.
But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the Boston Celtics. Now their over under is set at 46.5 wins. Asad, where are you at?
I think that they're going to go a little bit under. I could see them getting 42, 43 wins. I think 46.5 is a little high for Boston. Obviously, they're very talented with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. But I think they take it. They're also, want to be healthy for the playoffs. It could be a little bit of load management there. And so I could see them, just missing that threshold.
Yeah, I'm actually inclined to agree. I think that the addition of Jeff Teague was pretty big for them. to help spell off some of the pressure from Kemba Walker. He's a great veteran presence. But I do think that Boston underperforms here just from just because they did lose like Gordon Hayward, who was one of their more consistent contributors on offense for the Boston Celtics. But Kays, where do you think?
I think they're gonna go over.
Yeah.
It's a really good team. They have very little change from last year,
Mhm.
and they have a little bit more scoring and shooting off the bench now. So
Yeah. Safe. What do you think?
I have one question. Are
Mhm.
we sure? Are we sure this team got worse? Are we sure?
They certainly
I
didn't
never
get
said
better.
Could we argue that Jeff Teague off the bench instead of Brad Wanamaker and Tristan Thompson instead of Enes Kanter is actually better? This right here, this Boston Celtics team, this is your number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. There's your breaking news, boys. They are the number 1 seed in the East this year because guess what? My balls dropped. Jason Tatum is their best player, and he's only 23 years old. He doesn't need the load manage. Jaylen Brown does not need to load manage. These guys are going to play, and they're going to play hard night in and night out. These guys are going to be the best team in the East in the regular season. That doesn't mean they're my finals pick by any means necessary, but these guys are regular season warriors, and they're going to play like it. They're the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. This is my lock in the East. Over. Easy.
All right. Well, can't argue with that. I guess we can move on from here. Unless like we like unless us we didn't get you yet, do we? Or
Yeah, I started off. We can go ahead and keep rolling them.
all right. So the number 1 seed from last season, who anticlimactically got destroyed in this conference semifinals last season, the Milwaukee Bucks. Their over under is set at 50.5 wins. Now 50.5 wins, that puts them close to 60 win territory in an 82 game season. Safe, I guess we can start off with you.
Under. Not because they got worse as a basketball team, but because I think, I hope, I pray Coach Bud and Giannis finally learned that the regular season does not matter as much, especially when a home court advantage doesn't matter as much because you're not going to have fans in the stadium anyway. Rest. You don't need to play. You know, they only played 30 minutes last season, but why play every single? Just chill. Win some games. Get ready for the playoffs. Get some cohesiveness with Drew Holiday. Maybe make a trade. I don't know. They got screwed with Bogdanovich, and we have him in Atlanta, which I'm very happy about anyway. This team goes under. 650 wins in this kind of season. One guy gets COVID on the team, and they're going to lose 5 straight games or something. You know?
breaking news.
Is it?
Yeah, breaking
Signed
news?
Nick Batum. Yeah, the Clippers just signed Nick Batum.
Is that breaking news? Do we care?
Yeah.
Nick Batum.
Breaking.
Nick Batum is washed.
Well, we'll touch on that when we get to the Clippers. Kays, what do you think on the Bucks?
I think they're going over
Yeah.
because I don't think Bud has any different coaching philosophy. It's we're gonna win, we're gonna get home court advantage, we're gonna lose in the Eastern Conference Final. End of story.
They didn't even
I'm
make
a
it there
Hawks
last
fan.
year.
I'm a
So
Hawks
sad.
fan. I'm used to this. I saw Bud. Just
You
get
know,
it over with.
That is the most fair criticism. You're right. You might be right. Shit, I don't know.
Yeah, you're certainly not wrong. Asad, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm with Kays on this one. I think that Coach Bud and the Bucks, great regular season team. I think they're going to keep it rolling in the regular season. I really do like the DJ Augustine and Bryn Forbes pickups. I'm a fan of Bryn Forbes and his shooting, and I think it'll be a good touch for this Milwaukee team. And of course, Drew Holiday will be a big plus and a big upgrade over Eric Bledsoe.
Yeah, the pickups of Drew Holiday, DJ Augustine, and Bobby Portis, they should spell the losses from George Hill, who has been their best 3-point shooter this past season, and also Eric Bledsoe, who has been one of their best perimeter defenders. And
We talking about Bobby Portis? We talking about Bobby Portis?
Bobby Portis is a big body that he can.
Shaban, take me to the Western Conference right now. Dare talk to me about Bobby Portis? How dare you?
So I still say they go under, but long story short. But let's move on to the West. At the bottom of the barrel,
All right,
we
hold
got
up, Shaban. Before we go, you gotta look at me, dog. I'm giving you time cards. You're not acknowledging shit.
I have my own stopwatch right here.
This is where we're at.
Yeah, I'm aware. So
Are you?
we got we got the OKC Thunder at 23.5 wins.
Can we say it together? Can we say it together? Under.
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 Yeah. They'll probably be the bottom of the barrel for the next few years until they rack up them draft picks. But next up, we got the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think we all agree on this one. You want to say it together?
Over, baby.
Over. This is disrespectful.
I wouldn't go. I don't know if it's disrespectful.
Yeah.
27 wins.
But it's a little not respectful.
Yeah, this is just mean. This is just mean spirited to have a line this low. Next up,
for the listeners who aren't keeping count, it's 27.5, and that's about 30 wins in an 82 game season. 30.
Yeah, and not that far up, we got the San Antonio Spurs. Man, who missed their first playoffs in the last 20 years. Safe, what do you think?
This will be the best coached 15-win team in basketball, baby. Okay, I'm joking.
I think they hit 20.
They're not going to get.
They hit 20.
15 is an over-exaggeration, but 28.5 is way too high for this team. Under, they might trade fucking DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge by like January 1st.
The Lakers.
Maybe, I don't fucking know. This team is not winning 30 games or 28.5. No way. Under.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. Asad?
Yeah, no chance they get to 28.5.
Yeah, so sad for the San Antonio Spurs. But next up, we got some of the up and coming teams. The first one we got is the Sacramento Kings. They're also at 28.5 wins. Kays, where you at?
I'm at over, baby. I love
Really?
De'Aaron Fox. I love Tyrese Halliburton. This is gonna be a fun team to watch. Hopefully, Bagley can stay healthy,
Nope.
or as Safe likes to call him, bag of bones.
Bag of trash. It's sad. I liked him coming out of college. That boy can't put together 5 healthy games in a row.
But yeah, I think they get 30 plus wins.
Yeah, I really hope that Marvin Bagley comes back healthy, but it's hard for me to see them go over on this one. So what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think they get anywhere good to the over here. I think the West is too competitive. There's so many good teams, both playoff teams and even kind of in contention. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
That's exactly where I'm at with us. So it's not about them. It's about the rest of the teams in the West. They're just not good enough. They're going to go under because they're just not good enough.
All right. So let's move on. We got the Memphis Grizzlies, who were in the play-in for the playoffs last season, who narrowly lost to the Portland Trailblazers. Their over-under is set at 31.5 wins. 31 wins would put them like right pretty close to 500 territory. Do you think they're going over on this one, Safe?
Jaren Jackson Jr. will not start the season. Neither will Justice Winslow. So this one's an easy under for me because when you're missing your second best player, you're probably not going to do so good when you're the Memphis Grizzlies right now. So this is an easy under for me for that reason and that reason alone.
Yeah, I'm calling it an audible. I'm probably gonna change my pick to under as well, just for that Jaren Jackson Jr. That was a huge loss for them in the bubble, and hopefully he comes back healthy. Kays, what do you think?
I still think they go over.
Yeah,
I think Ja Morant can will this team to 31 or 32 wins.
Can we take a moment? Can we take a moment just to appreciate Kays' consistency? Steve Nash, he just talked about his love for Steve Nash, Ja Morant, and De'Aaron Fox. My man is a point guard guy. My man is all about them point guards.
He loves to facilitate.
We strive to be what we cannot.
That's fair.
Asad, what do you think,
big
man?
to be a point guard.
Yeah, I'm with Shaban and Safe here. I think they go under. Not having Jaren Jackson for at least the prolonged future. Justice Winslow they're expecting him to come back within the first month of the season, but there's just a question mark there. And I think it's the same Sacramento complex here, where I don't think they're a bad team. I just don't think they're good enough to compete with the rest of the West, especially without Jaren Jackson.
All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move on. We got the Houston Rockets. Their over-under is really weird. They're set at 35.5 wins.
You know
this
why?
This one's disrespectful.
It's not disrespect. You know why it's set at 35.5. They don't think Russ and Harden will be there the entire season. It's that simple. This is we don't believe that they're going to finish the season where they're starting it. And that's why we said it there.
But even that being said, do you think that they're going over or under?
Well,
they're going over.
I don't agree with Vegas. I think they're going to be there the whole fucking season. And so they're going over.
Yeah.
They'll win 36 games if Russ and Harden playing are even reasonably healthy.
Asad, you're our resident Rockets fan. Why don't you take this one?
Yeah, no, I think there's definitely there's more of a chance that Russ gets moved at some point in the season than Harden, unless things go really, really badly to start off and there's a shit show to start the season. I think James sticks this one out at least, and then the 2021 offseason will be the big question of what happens. But yeah,
Didn't
I
the
think
Rockets start slow last year too?
but not to the point where they think that they need to clean house. No pun intended. And so we will.
You did not.
That was pun intended, bro.
You trust falls into that joke, you son of a.
But yeah, with James Harden as a Houston Rocket, there's no way they don't win at least 36 games.
Yeah, that's a joke line.
Yes. Kays, you agree?
Rocket of the century.
Yeah, they're going over, bro.
All right, let's move on. Then we got the New Orleans Pelicans, whose line is higher than the Houston Rockets, I might add. Their line is set at 36.5 wins. Now, if you remember, the New Orleans Pelicans sort of fell apart over in the bubble and did not make the playoffs, even though we all predicted that they would probably go 8-0 or 7-1 back in our predictions episode. But I'm gonna say that they go under here as well. It's just too many question marks here. Alvin Gentry is out, so that's going to be a completely different system. It's Zion being healthy is a big question mark for me. Guys, what do you think? We can start with safe.
Yeah, I mean, this team did not get better in the offseason. They lost Drew Holiday. Lonzo Ball has been a shell of himself. I still own stock on Lonzo Island, but I've sold off most of my stock. I'm barely holding on. This team is banking on Zion's health, and I'm not banking on it. I'm just not. Sorry, I'm not. Under, easy under.
Kays, what do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely under. I have all the love in the world for Stan Van Gundy, but I don't think he coaches this team to 37 wins.
Yeah, Asad.
Yeah, I agree here. I think it goes under. I think the Steven Adams addition will be interesting. I don't think that Bledsoe's as good as he is defensively. I think they need more shooting and spacing, and I just don't know if Bledsoe can provide enough of that to help. I don't think they hit the 36.5 mark.
I want to highlight that Asad said interesting, not good on the Steven Adams edition. We'll talk about it next week, but it is interesting, yes.
But yeah, so let's go ahead and move on to the Golden State Warriors, who again is without Klay Thompson, unfortunately. Get better soon. Their over under is set at 36.5 wins, same as the Pelicans. I am going to say that they go over on this one, but not by a lot. I do think they make the playoffs. I don't think they make a strong push in the playoffs. Safe, what do you think?
Wiggins is the second coming of Michael Jordan himself, baby. No, that's a joke. However, I am going over because the season that we predicted for Steph Curry last season, averaging goddamn 35 points a game, that's going to happen this season because he's going to be healthy and he's going to give us one of the greatest scoring seasons we've ever seen that's not named James Harden because, come on, it's kind of annoying. So Steph Curry, 35 points a game this season, definitely over 36.5 wins.
Yeah, Asad, what do you think?
Yeah, I think they'll hit over. I think they're a well-coached team, a championship caliber team, although missing Klay Thompson. But I think they've got a good culture there. They'll find a way to incorporate Wiggins, Kelly Oubre, Atlanta Hawk, Kent Bazemore.
James Wiseman, baby.
Yeah. So, Kays, what do you think?
They're going over.
Yeah.
It's going to be Chef Curry season all season long.
Yeah, it will be the Golden State Warriors will be a fun team to watch. I will be keeping an eye on them on League Pass. So I will. Yeah, they will be a fun League Pass team.
Draymond Green coming back with a force.
League Pass. This is a national televised team. Come on. League Pass. Disrespect.
But anyways, let's move on to not the bright future Suns, the bright now Suns, as Safe loves to affectionately call them.
The bright
Their over under for win total is set at 38.5 wins. 38.5 wins. That is pretty close to being in that 50 win territory. Not by a lot, but it's getting there. It's a lot better than where they were last season. Asad, what do you think?
Yeah, I think this one's an over. I think this is probably one of the better locks of the Western Conference. I think the upgrade from Ricky Rubio to Chris Paul is going to be amazing. I think it's going to be great for Devin Booker to not have so much, be worried so much about handling the ball. He can just focus on just letting it go. I think DeAndre Ayton will be better because of it. Chris Paul just improves everyone around him, which is very evident in the Thunder's run to the playoffs last year.
Yes, playmaking shot creators are probably the hottest commodity in the NBA, and Chris Paul
in
is
the NBA or 2K.
Well, both.
¿Por qué no los dos? ¿Por qué no los dos, Kays?
And Chris Paul is definitely one of those. Kays, what do you think?
They're going over. This team hasn't changed much apart from losing Rubio and getting Chris Paul. And I think we'd all agree, Chris Paul, Ricky Rubio.
Well, they made up for the Kelly Oubre thing by adding Jay Crowder, who is how much?
Crowder.
Oubre? Is it
Crowder.
really that big a drop off?
And they didn't really have Kelly Oubre.
And they got
on anyway.
And they got Jay Crowder for a steal, like 3 years, $30 million. That's really good. That's a really good deal for someone who's going to be your 3-and-D guy.
Look, we're going 4 for 4. This isn't over. This is all about Chris Paul bringing in a brand new culture. That's why they traded for him. It was to win basketball games, but it was also to teach good habits for a young team who needed it. This isn't over because they're going to take it more seriously than most other teams. It just means more to them this year. Over.
Before we move on, who's the coach of the Phoenix Suns? It's Monty Williams, right?
Monty Williams. Love that guy.
Who also coached Chris Paul. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
In New Orleans. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a good connect, Shaban. That's a great connect.
I just thought about it just now.
Look at you, water boy. I'm fucking proud.
But next up, we got probably one of the more disappointing teams in the bubble this past season. It's the Utah Jazz. Now, Donovan Mitchell did put up godly performances in the playoffs against the Denver Nuggets, but it was all for naught. Their win total is set at 40.5 wins. 40.5 wins is also getting close to that 50 win territory. Safe, what do you think, man? Do you think they're gonna make it?
They're gonna make the playoffs if that's what you're asking me. Yes, but I think they're gonna go under. Not by a lot, but they're going to go under because, like you just mentioned, they needed godly performances from Donovan Mitchell night in and night out. It's going to help a lot to get their Bogdanovich back. Hopefully he's healthy and ready to play basketball, and Jordan Clarkson, Mike Conley. But this team didn't get significantly better. They just re-added a player that they had last season. They'll go under because other teams would just be better.
Not a re-add. Man scored 20 points a game for him.
Well, they didn't have him in the playoffs in the bubble. Sorry, that's what I meant by a re-add. Our last memory of this team is without Bogdanovich. They now have him back.
Yeah.
But I mean, under, not by a lot. 50 wins is a lot, especially in this NBA season in a West that is meant to kill each other because there's so many good basketball teams. They'll go under, not by much.
Yeah. Kays, what do you think?
I think they go over. I like this team. Donovan Mitchell's coming in with a force. He felt slighted last year. And I think he's pissed they didn't beat Denver, so he's going to go hard.
He's not going to take it easy. He got his max contract. He could just sit back now. He's chilling.
He doesn't strike me as the guy that takes it easy, though.
I know. I agree with you. I'm just being attacking.
I am inclined to agree. I think that Utah definitely has a chip on their shoulder. I think that getting Jordan Clarkson, who has been one of their more consistent contributors, to sign that multi-year deal was pretty big. Mike Conley finally started looking like his old self later in the season. I think Utah is going to be a really big, like one of those run and gun teams that we're going to see in the NBA. Asad, what do you think?
I'm with Safe on this one. I think that Utah is going to go slightly under here. I could see them finishing at about 36, 37 wins. No big changes over the offseason. They bring back Derek Favors, who they had 2 seasons ago. Other than that, no really big additions. Well, I think, like Safe said, with how competitive the West is, I think there's going to be a lot of close games. I think they'll be fighting for it, and it'll be right there. But I think the West is just too good to overcome, and I don't think they'll be able to get to that 40.5 mark.
All right. So we can move on now to a team that we officially that some of us affectionately refer to as the all injury team, also known as the Portland Trailblazers, which was one of the bigger question marks because you're just thinking about just last year's regular season. What if they were a lot healthier? They wouldn't have to really fight as much to be in the playoffs, let alone be an 8 seed. They put up a pretty respectable fight against the Lakers, even though they lost in 5. But their win total is
That was
their
the same
over under.
fight everyone else put up.
Well, their over under is set at 40.5 wins, same as the Utah Jazz. I am going to say over, especially with Rodney Hood coming back healthy. I think that this is going to be an exciting team to watch. Safe.
This team, dude, they added Rocco. They added Enes Kanter, who's super awesome for them off the bench when he proved it last year. Damian Lillard by himself could drag them to fucking 40 wins. This man has the motor of a god. CJ McCollum. Come on, this team is a good basketball team. They only got better. They're going over. It would truly not shock me if this ends up as a top 3 seed in the West. It wouldn't shock me at all. That's how highly I think of this basketball team. Over.
All right, Asad, what do you think?
Yeah, over. Watching Rocco last season as a Houston Rocket, terrific help defender. He's got great help ability. He can get 2 blocks as a somewhat undersized power forward. I think defensively he's going to be amazing for them. Can shoot the ball from outside, which will be big for this Portland team. I think they're going over.
All right. So, and Kays, what do you think?
Yeah, that's what I thought. They're going over.
I was just
He
messing with
tested
you,
you.
man.
He tested you so hard. He tested you so hard, bro.
They're going over. It's because of
Yeah.
Melo. That's it. Next.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Melo.
All right. Next up, we got the Dallas Mavericks. I'm gonna say over because I'm biased. Kays, what do you think?
Come on. What's the number? Come on. Don't get so excited to talk about the Mavs. Give us the number.
So the Mavericks win total over under is set at 42.5 wins. 42.5 wins is like pretty close. It's around that
too
50 win
damn high.
Kays, what do you think?
They're going under. Come on.
Yeah.
No KP to start the season.
That's why. When is KP coming back?
So KP has been cleared for basketball activities, but he's probably not going to come back until either late January or early February by my estimates.
Cool.
Realistically, I would probably go under.
I've heard
as well.
mid to late February.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's pretty real. That's not entirely unrealistic.
I mean, look, are we all going under here? Are all 4 of us going under?
Except Shaban.
Well, I'm actually going to say it like that. They're going to go under on this one.
Look, this team got better in the offseason. There is no question about it. I love their draft pick, Tyrell Terry. I love Josh Richardson. I don't mind them leaving Seth Curry. He's a great basketball player. He's better served in Philly than he is in Dallas. This team got better. But if KP misses 2 months of the season, how are they going to win 50 games in a regular game, in a regular basketball season? That's the only reason why this is under. If KP's healthy, I think we would all go over. It's under because KP's missing 2 months. That's it.
Yeah. So yeah. Also, do you agree?
Yep, 100%.
Going 4 for 4 again.
Luka might average 50 though.
All right. So next up, we got the Denver Nuggets, Western Conference finalist, Denver Nuggets, who did what again? In the conference against the Clippers, I forget.
They beat the Clippers because the Clippers blew a 3-1 lead, and then apparently still somehow won the NBA championship because they were favored to. I don't know the semantics of it all.
By the way, Clippers fans, if you're watching, we appreciate your viewership.
I
and
promise.
That's a lie. They don't have fans.
No, I was gonna say by now they've probably turned us off, but Kay's probably right. The Clippers don't have fans,
Come on now.
especially
All
after
right.
what just happened.
All right. So what do you think?
Oh man,
Denver's
I think
44
they're at
and a
that
half?
45.5 mark, which is
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, Denver is 44.5 wins.
It's 50
Yep,
wins in
they're
a regular
44.
season.
With 50 wins, which I went over on this. Might be in the minority here, but I went on the over. Last two seasons. So last year they finished with 54 wins, I believe. Let me double check that to make sure that I'm not
Sir,
lying.
you are wrong.
I'm
That is
not
46.
I'm thinking of 2018, 2019 is what I'm thinking. It was
46.
when they were the 2 seed. 2018, 2019 when they won 54 games in a full season. But I don't see why they couldn't do that again. I mean, Jokic and Jamal Murray, especially in the bubble of, how great he was. And Jokic is incredible, only going to get better. This team is well coached. There weren't really many big changes over the offseason.
They lost Jeremy Grant.
They lost Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant was kind of on off the entire regular season. He had some good games in the bubble, but I don't think it's that much of a loss that they can't really offset. My guy Bol. Hopefully we'll get to see him play some more time. But I don't see why the Nuggets couldn't do it again and get over that 44.5 mark.
Yeah, I do agree that Jamal Murray in the playoffs in the bubble was a completely different animal, and he really showed out. And I think he's going to be a big part of the Nuggets' success. However, I do think that they go slightly under on this one, not by a lot, just because that loss of Jeremy Grant, especially on the defensive end, is going to be is going to prove to be pretty monumental. Just because of his length, just the lack of that length. But hopefully Bol can fit that role that Jeremy Grant left behind. But it's hard to say. Rather, Kays, what do you think?
Going under. I think it's a pretty unreasonable expectation for them to win 44 games after playing so much with a short layoff. They had 90 days.
Yeah.
Plus, losing Jeremy Grant, you have to work in a new scheme, a new rotation, and they have the players to fill the void, but it's going to take time for them to get that chemistry.
Yeah. Safe, what do you think?
This is the lock of the century. I know I've said that about 5 times in this podcast, but this is genuinely a lock. It is under, and here is the reason why. I was going to say over, and then we found out that Nick Saban, the coach of Alabama football, got COVID twice in a month. My boy Nikola Jokic loves McDonald's, and we know McDonald's has the Rona.
Oh, no.
We know McDonald's has the Rona. They serve it on the side next to the barbecue sauce. Nikola Jokic, I love this man, but I'm not sure he's playing a whole basketball season. Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, all jokes aside.
Wait, Jokic might be safe. He already had the Rona.
But that's what I'm saying. Nick Saban had it twice in a month. We now know you can get it again and again and again. Clearly, the antibodies, cool, not good enough. But all jokes aside, obviously, I'm not wishing for that to happen to Jokic. I don't wish for that to happen to anybody, including even Donald Trump. I was like, oh, shit. That's weird. But anyway, Jokic and Murray, fantastic. This team did not get better in the offseason. We expect more from Michael Porter Jr., but defensively, this team is still a big question mark. Paul Millsap is one letter short of being washed. He's kind of like a wash with an E, but he's missing that, no jokes, but D.
He's washy?
He's washy. This team is a good basketball team. They're looking at the playoffs. I think that they have proved to themselves at this point that they don't have to be a regular season warrior. They need to gear up and be ready for the playoffs. And so for that reason, I think just under.
Yeah. I'm inclined to agree that they go under. So next up, it's your favorite basketball team on the planet.
This is no one's favorite basketball team. This is what your barber uses to cut your hair.
It is the Los Angeles Clippers. Their over-under is set at 46.5 wins.
Come on, cut the shit. Cut the shit. We swept this one. Just break the news.
All right. We all went under on this one, right?
Shaban, why did we go under?
Because they lost Montrezl Harrell.
No,
and they lost JaMychal Green.
No, we went under, not because they got worse, but because Boardman and PG Terrible do not play every single game. They will rest half of this basketball season, if not more.
That is true. Yeah. They will load. This team is the definition of load management.
By far.
Case, what do you think?
I don't think you should let me talk about the Clippers, bro.
No,
I have
please,
nothing
please,
nice to
please.
say.
The floor is yours.
Please, sir. We've
Nah.
laid out the red carpet.
Nah, they're going under. That's all I'm gonna say.
Asad, what do you think?
Oh man, I was excited to hear what Case had to say, but yeah, no, I agree with you.
All right,
I
you know what?
agree with you.
Asad, rant.
All right, so we all agreed they go under. Now, let's move on to the defending champions, the defending world champions with ring number 17. We have the Los Angeles Lakers. Their over-under is set at 47.5 wins, most likely because LeBron and AD are probably not going to be playing the beginning of the season. They're probably going to be taking a cool few weeks off. I say that they go under here just because I feel like they're just going to be a little like same reason you gave the Denver Nuggets that the regular season really doesn't matter to them. I say that they would probably win like 44 wins, like probably equivalent to like a 50 win season, and then they just gear up for the playoffs. And that's really my rationale behind it. Asad, what do you think?
I think they go over here. I think it'll be slightly over, considering the fact that LeBron and AD might take a little bit of time off. But this team is damn good, and they just got better. Big additions with Dennis Schroeder, Montrezl Harrell. No more Danny Green. Love the guy. Kind of. He's a nice guy. He's a great guy.
He's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy. But no, I think the Lakers go over here.
Kays, what do you think?
All right, they go over because they're a great team, and that's what great teams do. And I made a little something for the YouTube.
Hey, champion!
It's a championship. Get it?
Champion!
It's a championship.
This is bad.
Oh my god, that's great.
Flip
I love it.
This basketball team, I was 100% ready to say they go under because I do think LeBron, especially maybe a little bit of AD, but definitely LeBron was going to load manage. And then they signed Montrezl Harrell and Dennis Schroeder and Wesley Matthews and Marc Gasol. Need I say more? They got better as a basketball team. Kyle Kuzma is going to be a little bit better this year because he's going to be asked to do a little bit more scoring wise because LeBron's going to be sitting out 20 games or whatever. This line is perfect. 47.5 is probably about right. I could see going either way. I will lean over, but I do not recommend anybody allegedly put money on this one because LeBron and AD could sit out 25 games, and there's unlikely that Schroeder and Montrez are carrying half of those.
They don't have to. We have Caruso.
Yeah. Caruso goat.
Yeah, I love Caruso's defense. Will not rely on him to put up LeBron numbers or even a fourth of LeBron's numbers.
Look, we had Linsanity. Caruso can do it.
Stop it. We did not. The Lakers did not have Linsanity. The New York.
I'm talking about us as basketball fans.
We got Jeremy Lin, Harvard grad. That's what we got. That's what we got on the Lakers. Jeremy Lin, Harvard grad. We did not get Jeremy Lin, basketball player.
But yeah, that's been our over/under for the NBA. Stay tuned for our season preview coming up pretty soon. We might also take a look at some of the new City Edition jerseys that came out. There are a lot of them, and some of them actually look good, Dallas, and some of them are still just as shitty. But we'll get to that.
You know how I know Dallas's isn't good? Because I haven't seen it yet.
Ouch.
Ooh.
Dallas is actually kind of nice.
Dallas is actually pretty fire. I actually like it.
Kind of nice.
If it was fire, you would have shared it in the group chat.
We did share it in the group chat. What you mean? Sure, Nabil did.
Look, anything is better than those garbage ass, graffiti ass jerseys the Mavs had last year. Anything is better than that.
Yeah,
these are actually quite nice.
There are bad City Edition jerseys, and then there are the Mavs City Edition jerseys like last year, and it was god awful.
They were bad.
But yeah, thank you, Asad, for joining us on this week's episode.
Yeah, it's fun. It's always fun being with you guys. It's always a great time.
All right, and
please sound more than Asad next time.
And from the Waterboy and Equipment Manager podcast, we'll see you next week. Peace.
See ya.
Bye. I don't like that order. One bit.
for three. You